Well, what a brilliant day we're having, I have to say. Me and Amanda were just saying there, we're like very, very busy. So if you are wanting to get anything from this show, because we have got some bits that we haven't showed at all earlier, and I know quite a few of them stencils, a lot of you have already jumped in and kind of shopped ahead on, so I really would sort of push you to do that if you want to guarantee your place to get something. We did in the earlier show have a stencil bundle, and we had individual stencils. The stencil bundle has completely sold out, as have 3 of the 4 stencils individually. So we only have 1 left, and we have very limited stock left. So I will just start the show with that, just so that you know that this is the only one of the stencils that we brought to the show earlier that is available. It is an absolutely beautiful stencil, your Flourish stencil that you've got there. It's at a great price of £6.50. And if I show you the board, you can really see that obviously when you stencil that out, the detail, the finish of that is absolutely stunning. And then, of course, you can move it across into your cards. And I really like that, you know, with that kind of rainbow effect.
I know, that Carol's done that, and it's really, really makes it pop, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, definitely. But you don't have to do it in, you know, the really big cards or use the full stencil. You can do it into smaller cards and just use sections of it if you wanted to. Or you can have it lovely and kind of delicately just in the background, if you can pick that up just there, of that. So it's totally up to you kind of how you want to use it. But it's a lovely stencil.
It is a really, really versatile stencil, and a great one if you're in a really quick rush to get a card finished.
I think so. We all love kind of flourishes, we all love flowers and vines and everything, so you've got all of that there. I was actually thinking as well, right, you know, if you stenciled this bit here and then you kind of spun it around, you could almost create the beginning of a wreath and make that into like a circle, couldn't you?
Check you out.
Nice.
Anybody think you were crafting?
I know, I can't craft, but I might have some ideas sometimes. If only I could do it. So I could though with a stencil, that's the best.
Certainly could.
So that is there and available, but there is not many available at all. So if you want them, okay, half the stock's gone now of the remaining. So yeah, if you want it, go for it as quick as you can. Now we do have a limited amount left on the main bundle of the stamp set. Again, some of these individual stamps have completely sold out, and we don't have much left of the bundle. It's an absolutely gorgeous bundle that we've got here. I mean, I just love that we've got 6 different stamp bundles that we've got there. And, you know, each one is different but works together. I think that's what's really great about this.
That's what we do with Honeydew Crafts. All of our stamps, all of our stencils, and the dies that we have, and new dies coming in, all will work with
great, isn't it?
The thing that you bought 10 years ago when I launched, and now.
Okay.
And the great thing also about all of ours, apart from our dies, everything is made in the UK.
Oh, amazing.
Stamps and the stencils are both made.
All made here, which we love to hear, don't we? Because it's supporting, obviously, people, you know, here as
definitely.
well, which is fantastic. So let me show you some samples, actually, from this as well, because here's a sample from the Trio of Flowers. That's one of the stamp sets that you are going to get. But obviously, we saw earlier on in the first show, when you were demoing with this, how you can do it like that, or you can make them really 3D, you can kind of put them all together. So it's really worth watching back those earlier shows, because it can go from that to, if we just put up there, to that. I mean, that and that.
It's exactly the same set of stuff.
You don't feel like it is, do you?
I know,
Look at that. But it's brilliant. So it is. So that's the first that you will be getting. We then have your Butterfly Dreams that you can see here. This you can't get individually, so this is the only way to get it, and you can use it as it is stamped out, or you could think, well, I'll just go, you know, for some butterflies. It's totally up to you, but it is such a beautiful, beautiful image that, of course, we get to see with that one as well. Now, we also have the chance for you to be able to get this one, which is also your butterflies that we've got, but this is your Butterfly Daisy that we can see just here. And I just think this is really spectacular, the way the butterflies kind of are flying out of it.
Something a little bit different, isn't it? And I love daisies.
Yeah, so do I.
I'm an April baby, so I think that's what it is. It must be the daisies. I just love them.
Yeah, and it's nice if you wanted to sort of, you know, do it for somebody who's born in April or anything like that as well. My mum's born in April, so that would be a great one for her as well. So you can see a lot of inspiration, of course, in that one. Then we can come across and we can show you your vintage flowers that we've got here as well. Which again, I mean, that could be Christmas, that could not be Christmas. You can depend on the colours you use. Yeah, so you can see that one, that's then a birthday card. Or if you want it in your monochrome, then you could do it like that, which
I love
is
that
absolutely
card, and
lovely.
that's not something I would ever think to put together.
No.
But and that's why we have a design team.
Well, exactly, yeah,
We
because
have a
everyone has
really
different
small design
inspirations.
team, and I have to say again, thank you very much,
Yeah.
ladies. We couldn't do this without you.
No, definitely.
And they work so hard for me, and they just
Yeah.
do such an amazing job.
Just superb, aren't they? All of them. You
Yeah.
see every sample, I just think it's amazing. So that's all of that. Then we can show you, so let me just pop these ones just back so I don't muddle them all up, which we don't want to do. And then let's show you some of those bigger sets, of course, that we've got as well. And just how these kind of work together really, really gorgeously, because we have got a great sort of way to create these fabulous backgrounds, haven't we?
We do, and as I mentioned in the earlier show, not all of the stamps that you're seeing as the main focal on these
No.
are in this show, but they are available on your website.
Yeah.
But it's just to show you that the extra lines and the dot stamp set that we've got on here, which are the two larger sets,
Yes.
you can use them with absolutely everything. I mean, that's florals with diamonds and lines.
Yeah, which is just great.
And then you go to the next one, which is lines with circles.
Yeah. Yeah, so extra lines and your dots, I think, they work together so well. But let's show you the dots as well, what you can see with this, where you can really sort of use those big sizes. And then it's where do you stop? I mean, we were sort of making these in the earlier shows, and it was like, I want to put so much
I know.
onto
We're going to be doing that again, a similar
Brilliant.
version on the first demo this afternoon.
Gorgeous.
And you just can't stop.
No, because it's just great, isn't it? So all of that, and it is discounted down if you want everything to £65. On that split payment, we are looking at £32.50 for you to be able to take this home. Some of them are available still individually. Some have completely sold out on those. But of course, if you want to go for any of all of, if you want to go for the full bundle, then that's where you're getting that price, of course, on that one as well, which is brilliant. Should we go to first demo?
Let's go for the first demo.
Lovely.
Right, so we are going to be doing extra lines and dot.
Okay, brilliant.
Right, so again, completely white background here to start with.
Just need to push your mat over to the left a little bit, if that's okay, I think.
Oh, yeah.
A bit further. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Lovely.
I've got to move everything over. Bear with me 2 seconds.
Sorry, yeah, that's okay.
There we go. Right, so extra lines and dot. So we're just going to go in. And again, I mentioned earlier, I'm using the oxides, so they won't be a completely crisp, flat image.
Yeah.
Because they've got a little bit of texture to the ink pad, and obviously they're not designed as a stamping ink.
Yeah.
They're great for putting some texture and water techniques and things like that with them. So you can just do all sorts of random stuff with these stamp sets, which is what I absolutely love. And as I mentioned earlier, I was terrified when I first brought this set of stamps out because it's so different to what
Isn't it?
Honeydew Crafts
Yeah.
is known for.
I think that's
And I
really
thought-
nice. It's a bit like we were saying with Francoise in the hour previous. Sometimes you step outside the box and then you
I
make
know, then
amazing-
a whole new world opens up.
Yeah.
We did. I think we brought these out after we brought out the paint splodges and our brush strokes,
Okay.
and they're just so much fun. Again, those
Yeah.
ones are background stamps that are on your website. They're just brilliant to play with and build your backgrounds.
Yeah.
We're all aware of how much everything costs these days,
I know.
and being able to just buy white cardstock and investing in those stamps,
Yes,
you can
exactly.
make all your backgrounds for £14.99.
Yeah, yeah. And when you think of it
Instead
like
of
that,
having to
so
buy
good.
lots and lots of patterned papers,
Yep.
which soon starts to add up, doesn't
And
it?
then you've used it all.
And then it's run out, and or you're anything like me. I used to buy two, one to use and one to
This is
keep.
what loads of people say.
And that's
yeah.
mad. We're just bonkers, some of us. But that's what we all were doing, buying one to use and one to keep. So I've got 4 different colours that I'm going with
Lovely.
here. We've got, because everybody asks me what colours we're on, we've got chipped sapphire, salvage patina, cracked pistachio, and peacock feathers this time.
Super.
And again, just literally building it up. I've got topped and tailed on all sorts of different stamps here today, so just bear with me while I find where I've hidden everything. So. And again, this one's like a cross. Wasn't
Yep.
designed initially to be like that, but it worked out like that, and that's how we use it now. But I don't want this whole piece this time. I just want this little section up here.
Okay.
So I'm just going to pop that down there. And when I'm using these ones, I always have a wet cloth or something beside me so that I can keep wiping over and going back in and using the same pieces.
Yeah.
it is just that moment where you have to say, right, walk away, stop, no more. And the nice thing, again, by doing this is you never have the same design twice, ever.
Okay.
Which is always nice. So don't try and do it so that if you want to replicate this hundreds of million times over, because you're not going to be able to. And then we come in with some of the fun parts of them. And don't forget, you can turn things around.
Yes.
They don't have to be in the same order that you're seeing on.
No, exactly. Yeah.
And I like to go in and... They're not a perfect match. They weren't designed to be a perfect match.
Okay, yeah.
So don't think that that's got to fit in there and that's got to fit in there. It doesn't. Where else are we going to go with? Should we put some dots on here now? A brighter colour in there. And it is just, once you find colour combinations that work together,
Yeah, it's nice.
you can keep going back in and using the same ones. And again, this is another one of those cards that was great for the really difficult card people that you have to make for.
Yeah. And there is quite a few of them.
Like all of us, most of us struggle with men's cards.
Exactly, yeah.
A lot of
Teen
us
cards,
struggle.
a lot of people say as well, don't they?
Teen cards. And even young children, this one's quite a fun one
Yeah.
to do. You can do it with all the really bright, vibrant colours. And I think it'd be really cool.
I'm thinking as well with quite a few of these bits, you know, if you love your tangling, you could actually tangle inside of them as well.
Oh, I like that idea.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Because I do like a bit of tangling.
Yeah, I think most people enjoy it.
You can completely zone the world out with that,
Yeah,
can't you?
exactly.
Nobody's in my life. Right, so I'm going to go back to some of the little dots and spots now, and these really do suddenly make it just ping.
Yeah.
I've got lots of different sizes and lots of different colours on here now, so. Go in the darker ones. But also, as I mentioned earlier, with the tinier stamps, I usually go to the ink pad with it rather than the stamp, the ink pad to the stamp, I do it
so the other way around, what you'd normally do with the bigger stamps.
Yeah. And even though this is the tiniest little stamp,
Yeah, it's silly, isn't it, that one?
it really is a tiny little stamp.
Yeah.
But it makes such an impact when you put it in there.
Well,
It just pulls everything together.
they'd be super for bubbles as well, wouldn't they? If you were doing like an under the sea card or something
yeah,
like that,
really
just to
cool.
use those bits.
I just, as I say, get a little bit carried away. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be very organised, but it's not
Fine.
not always that easy. And it is one of those, you can make it as busy and as full as you want,
Yeah.
or as little as possible. I mean, that trio flowers stamp that we did earlier, that's hardly got anything on it, but it just completely changed its look.
so effective.
We're almost there, I think. Just add in a few more bits. I want that to be slightly heavier.
Do you remember, of course, the bingo game as well? There's just an image that just popped up just there. So if you have seen them all, then do send in when you have to studio@hobbymaker.co.uk. We just need Snow Day Bingo written in and your details, and then one of you, so just put your email on there, and one of you will win a £25 credit, and we'll announce the winner just before the end of the show.
Nice. That'd be very nice to get today on a snowy day.
I know, nice little treat.
Although most of the snow's gone now, I think. And take that one off because we don't need that one now. And then I've purposefully left a little bit of space there, but I just want to get in a couple more lines slightly longer on here. And don't be scared, you can stamp over the top of what you've already got there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I've left a gap just to pop a sentiment in there, and we are going to go with...
I think that's lovely.
Pulled up. So I've got thanks for going that extra mile.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
So again, I mean, this isn't a typical thank you card.
No, but it
But
works.
how cool would this be over Christmas?
Yeah.
Grandchildren or your children around, everybody's going to get all those lovely presents. And
Definitely.
it's so nice to go back, instead of sending an email or a message, why not make a card? Get your kids to make a thank you card.
Absolutely.
And send it. How much nicer is that for the grandparents to receive than...
It is, and I mean, they love something when it's personalised, don't they?
Definitely. Make great thank you cards.
Yeah.
And the kids would have great fun building it up too.
Yes, exactly.
So I have stuck my background on,
Okay, great.
and we're just going to pop that on there.
Yeah, it looks super.
Here we go. So what was that? From start to finish, maybe, what, 10 minutes?
Yeah,
If that?
exactly. And it was you taking your time as well, getting them in the right
Yeah,
placements of where you wanted them.
definitely.
It's so different to anything else you'd see as well. So that is created by using the extra lines stamp set. If you want to get that individually, you can do it, £14.99. And like we said before as well, I mean, there's 14 stamps in this, but you've almost got that massive cross. So if you were thinking about like christening cards or Easter cards or anything like that, you could use that for that as well as kind of creating these lovely backgrounds. We'll just let you know which other ones are available individually as well, because if you did want to get the dot dot, I think that one is still available individually as well. It's another really large stamp set that you get in, lots of different elements that you've got as well. 16 different stamps, from those large bubbles to those lovely kind of ditzy daisies that we've got as well. Great ways to kind of build up corners and backgrounds with that, and that is again £14.99. We'll bring in the individuals as well on the bottom row that we've got just here. So we have sold out of Butterfly Dreams, so that one has completely gone. Butterfly Daisy, we are limited on now, but we still have some availability on it. It's £9.99 if you would like to get that one individually. And just amazing how those butterflies are kind of popping out of the daisy. Trio of Flowers, which we saw obviously that lovely demo in the earlier hour with. Great way to be able to create your flowers. And it's £9.99 once again. Plus we have the vintage flowers, so quite a different shaped flower, different detailing, different with the leaves as well that we're seeing. But you can, of course, then put those two together if you wanted to, the trio of flowers with the vintage flowers. And the vintage flowers, we will match that price of the trio of flowers that we're seeing there, and the vintage flowers will come in at £9.99 as well. But the best way to get them, of course, and it means that you can get the Butterfly Dreams that has sold out, is to go for the whole bundle, and that is, of course, having a discount on it as well, so you can get that for just over bang on £65. 90% of the stock, though, of the full bundle has now been allocated, so we don't have much left at all. So if you do want it, for those of you with it in your basket, do check it out if you want to guarantee getting every single one of them. Now, the other thing that we just saw Amanda using was this, which is a lovely sentiment stamp set that we've got. So your general sentiments, but quite different to what we often see. We see a lot of, like we were saying in the earlier show, a lot of birthday sentiments, things like that, but this is covering all different occasions, so you've got sending good thoughts your way. Thanks for going the extra mile. Feel better soon. Friendship never stops blooming. In a field of daisies, be a wildflower. For someone who is wonderful in each and every way. And that, again, is a brilliant price of £9.99. Also, just to mention the glue, because we saw that being used also. This is your sticky glue. You get a big kind of amount of this as well. And it does dry if completely clear. We know this always comes in, always sells very, very quickly, and it's been used, of course, for so many things like mending shoes. We heard mending the wing mirrors. So, and Jennifer said, "Can I ask what the sticky glue can be used for? Oh, can it be used with gilding flakes?"
It's not hugely successful with gilding flakes, because with the gilding flakes you need a glue which they call an open glue.
Yeah.
So it doesn't dry until you put something on top of it, whereas this one will dry.
Yeah.
So you do need something that stays tacky.
Yeah, so yeah.
So you're looking for an open glue. There's quite a few different ones on the market. I think Creative Expressions do a gilding flakes glue. And that's exactly what it does. It stays open. So you could leave it on the windowsill and go on holiday for a week, come back and it'll still be tacky.
Rightio, yeah. So thank you. Ask your questions, of course, if you want to. Should we go through a couple of other stencils that we've not seen yet? Because we've got quite a few that we're going to bring to this. I love this one. Have a look at this. This is the Scribbles stencil that we've got available. I mean, you've got your rose there, but it feels very much like a graffiti-esque rose.
It does. doesn't it? You could do absolutely anything with that. I had so much fun playing with that one. And on our website, we've got loads of different samples. And if you're desperate, if you've got stuff that you're not sure about, we have a huge, big gallery on our website. Or just give me an email or whatever, and we can show you. Facebook pages. Say a ring.
Put your number out there. I was like, oh, be careful.
That is there too. You can give me a ring. But we have it all on our Facebook pages.
Yeah.
There's loads of videos and demos and things.
I think it's lovely when you see inspiration from other people and things that are finished. Because
we have a Facebook page which is called Honeydew Crafts Be Inspired, which is where all of our customers can post all of their different inspirations and all their different projects that they've made. And it's not just cards that are made with the Honeydew Crafts either. So it's worth applying to join that and seeing what's going on with that as well.
Yeah, this for me would be great as wall art, popping that in a frame once it's
it'd be
finished.
lovely, wouldn't it?
Absolutely gorgeous. £6.50 if you want to get that one. We then have this, which is your background squiggles, and you can see this comes with the stencil and the mask as well. So you're kind of getting the opportunity to get the kind of an outer almost with that one as well. £8.99 with that. And I love you've got the two different sizes. You've got the really large one and the smaller one.
Because not everybody does the really big cards.
No, it's very true.
When we used this on the first show, when we launched this set, we just did it with the oranges and yellows and stamped a black silhouette image on the top of it.
Yes, that's
amazing.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. And that's £8.99 to be able to get the stencil and the mask. Also, just introduce the trailing foliage that we can see here, because look at that. Once again, you've got the stencil and the mask that we can see, but you can see them flurries, you can see them flourishes of how that's kind of moving down with those also. And you could just imagine the kind of either border strips that you're creating or kind of the central areas that you're going to be really making your card complete with as well with this one. Can I ask a quick question, right, Michaela? I've just realised that you have the Christmas top on as well. Is there like a Christmas thing going on today?
It just snowed.
Oh, it's just because it's snow. But loads of people. Have you seen how many people have got Christmas stuff on in the office?
I saw somebody in an elf outfit.
Yeah, someone was in an elf outfit, wasn't there? Yeah, someone's in an elf outfit.
Oh, that's an advert thing.
Oh, are they doing an ad? They're filming something for Christmas. Yeah, that was like you've just got inspired. I love your top, but I suddenly thought, like, if we just, I don't know if I'd missed this memo because I kept seeing people in all these Christmas like things. And I was like, I don't know what the day is. Maybe it's like sometimes they do like a coffee morning or something. So yeah, it's a lovely jumper. I want to get mine out. So yeah, that one very popular already. Lots of you coming. Makes a bit more sense the elf going around as well if they were filming something. I just thought there was a random elf in the building. Like
we saw a random Father Christmas with a big belly earlier too.
Oh yeah, that was on my show. Yeah, he walked in on the live. So yes, you never know what's going to happen here, do you? Let's be honest. Right, let me introduce one more, and then we'll come across to the next demo. So this is your grunge frame that we've got here, which is your stencil and your mask. I mean, what an amazing frame to actually be able to create.
It is so much fun to play with that one. When you first look at it, you think, oh, what am I going to do with that?
Yeah.
Once you get your hands on it,
yeah, I bet.
World's your oyster.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that it can create like the aperture if you want that in the centre. You can pop absolutely anything that you wanted kind of with that. But lovely to get that size and then obviously that grunge finish with it. And that's £8.99 for another 7x7 stencil. Right, should we come across to your next demo?
So we are going to go with butterfly daisies this
lovely.
time. And we are using mustard seed and our blending brushes. So we're going to start in the middle, and we're just lightly, that I haven't hardly got any pressure on that, but I'm just working it until I'm happy with the colour I have in the middle. Now we've got a similar card there that I did finish.
Guess what's happened in that time? The bundle has sold out.
Oh, good grief.
The butterfly daisies has sold out.
Oh, well, I'll give you an idea on what to make with the butterfly daisy now you've bought it.
Yeah. But what we will do is we'll bring the blending brushes in because we have got some availability on those. We'll bring in the large, what we're using at the moment, and then we'll show you the smaller ones after as well.
These are fab. I don't know. I used to avoid blending anything.
Did you? What, until you got these brushes?
Till I got my hands on brushes. The foam pads and me were never good friends.
No. Did it just make such a difference?
Oh, huge difference. Because you can load it. A lot of people are saying to me at my workshops and stuff that they're still getting the splodges. If you don't put enough ink on the brush, you will still get a splodge.
Right, okay.
Don't be scared to load your brush with ink.
Okay.
That's exactly what you need to do.
Super.
So all I'm doing is in a circular motion, making myself a circle of colour.
Yeah, brilliant.
I would leave that to dry to do what I want to do with it.
Yes, okay.
But I have already done one.
Great.
So we are then just going to take the anti-static bag, wipe that over the top, just to make sure that that is completely dry.
Yes, okay.
We're then going to use Versamark ink and the white embossing powder.
Yeah.
And again, lots of little light taps all over. And the reason that you need that ink to be dry before you do this is because you're going to put embossing powder over the top. If that ink's still wet, that's where it's going to stick.
Yeah, okay.
You want that to be completely dry. You're going to position that roughly in the middle. And again, remember it's a large stamp. So give it time to let that ink soak into the fibres of the papers. Take that off. And then my trusty piece of cardboard. People must think I'm absolutely batty the way I do these things sometimes. I'm going to go all over the top. Give that a good tap to take the excess off.
Yeah.
Put the excess back in the pot. And I'm going to heat from underneath because it will give me a much smoother finish on the image. Now, because I'm heating this and it's got oxide on between my heat gun and the actual powder, you do start to smell that oxide cooking. So just be careful, watch what you're doing, and mind your fingers because it gets really hot underneath.
Okay,
if you're
yeah,
embossing
really
underneath
careful.
as well.
Yeah.
Almost done. And because this one has sold out already, I have already done a few different little bits to this, so I will just bring in the pieces I have already done.
Yeah, yeah, lovely.
So hopefully you will end up with something that looks like that.
Yeah.
But I have already done
Oh,
part of the next one. You can see that these butterflies are flipping up a little bit.
How lovely.
And all I did was stamp the same image out onto some vellum.
Okay.
But I used our sparkly embossing powder, which is the white opal, which also comes in the collection that's available on your website.
Yes, okay, okay.
So you get 4 of them in there.
Okay, lovely.
I did also cut out the daisy.
Oh, that looks nice.
Let me see that. There we go.
Yeah.
I have forgotten to bring my spongy mat with me, and not everybody has a spongy mat.
No, it's true.
So I thought, well, I'll show everybody what I would have done if
You
I
can do
hadn't.
kitchen roll.
So you've got your kitchen roll. I've got a stylus that's got a really small nib on the end,
Okay.
and I literally just scratch the back,
Oh, wow, all right.
just to give that some texture.
Yeah.
But you need something that it's going to sink into,
Yes,
which is
yeah,
why
yeah.
a nice bundle of kitchen paper works really well for
Okay.
this. I'm all about working with what you've
Oh,
already
yeah,
got.
100%.
And then I'm going to take the blending brush and just pop a little bit of yellow in the middle there. So as I said, I cut out all these little butterflies. I haven't done the really, really tiny ones. There's more to life
No,
than
exactly,
cutting out
yes.
tiny,
Yeah.
tiny, tiny little butterflies. So we're going to pop a very small amount of glue on here.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and get as much of that glue along where the embossing powder is.
Okay.
Because I want although the glue does dry clear, it's very difficult to get a glue that isn't going to be seen through vellum.
Right.
So just a small amount and try and keep it as near to that embossing powder as you can.
Yeah.
And I've just placed that on the top, so that gives you that little bit of texture.
Okay.
We've got a bit of a lift on there as well.
That's lovely.
And then I'm going to pop in another couple of butterflies.
Yeah. Amazing.
So I'd love to be able to show you the next demo I'm going to do is vintage flowers, and it's got lots of movement to that one. In my head, I'm desperately trying to work out if I can do it with the floral, with the foliage stencil, because I haven't used that on my prep, but we'll see what we can do. I think we might have to go with what I've done because I can't work it out.
Fine. That's fine.
So I have gone round the edge of a white piece of cardstock again,
lovely.
just to tie everything in, because I like everything to be the same colour.
Yeah, it does work, doesn't it?
And again, look, this is one that I dropped a brush onto. I keep all of those.
Yeah.
It's got 2 sides to every piece of card.
It's going to get hidden, isn't it, now? So it doesn't matter at all.
Nobody's going to pull your card apart to see if you've used a piece that you've got something on the back of, are they? And that's that card. Almost done. I'm just going to pop a sentiment on there.
Yeah.
And again, with my sentiments, if I pop them on foam pads, or anything I put on foam pads, I use a little bit of this sticky glue.
Ah, yes, you've got a little bit of
a
movement.
little bit of wiggle room to position it where you want it to be. And we've got In a Field of Daisies, Beetle Wildflower.
Yeah, great.
And that's off the General Sentiments stamp set.
That is just so beautiful, isn't it? It's gorgeous, yeah. And so easy to actually put that together, which looks so different again to any of the other samples we've
So
seen.
simple. I don't do anything difficult. Let me assure you, I don't do anything on TV that I can't, that nobody else can do.
Nobody else couldn't do. It's fabulous, it really is. Now, if you do want those brushes, well, you might not get that one. It's under the Christmas tree. 1 minute. Got a bit excited with that. It's back. There we are. Now, these are the large, yes. At least I found it. I didn't knock the Christmas tree over on my head or something like that. You never know, do you? Now, they do come in these lovely little cases, and you are going to get 2 of them for this price. So you see I've got one in this little case, and I've just popped one out just so you can see it. And as Amanda said, you know, she didn't used to like even blending or anything like that until she used these. It's because they are so fabulous at what they actually do. They're £9.98 for both of them. We do also have them in a second size that are available. Again, come in the little cases, but you can see these are your mediums. So I've just put them next to each other. You can see the difference, the size, but both perfect for, you know, different areas, different sizes that you're trying to get into as well. And that's £7.98 for you to get those 2 that we have just there. Now, I've got a few more stencils that I will come across as well, so we can get them live onto the show. So we've got one of my favourites here, which is the Funky Line stencil. I can remember seeing this on a previous show, and straight away I was like, that is really, really cool. Going to really create an amazing background there. Top of the Pops, you think, I miss Top of the Pops, that kind of thing. That was pretty good, wasn't it? Oh, did you hear, actually? Probably didn't, but Zoe Ball stepped down from The Breakfast Show on Radio 2, and Scott Mills is taking over. Yeah. So thinking Top of the Pops. It's the only station that my car will pick up. So I now know everything about Radio 2. I have no choice. And when, obviously, we've been doing the earlier shows, the lives, but when I used to drive in at 11, I used to really enjoy it because it's like 10 to the top, a little music quiz, but not now. Now, we also have the dot dash stencil that you can see just here as well. Oh, I was thinking, you know, that dot dash stencil, that would go quite nice, that firework one that sold out earlier.
It would.
Would, wouldn't it? And I think that'd be lovely as well to be able to create, you know, like borders or anything like that.
It's so much fun. And again, a great men's card.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And that's £6.50 if you want to get that one. I like the name of this one, Chaos. I love that. Chaos. Here's your Chaos stencil. That we've got there. This would be one as well that would look really nice. You know, if you almost added all the different colour and made that almost sort of stained glass effect with it.
That would be really nice, wouldn't it?
Really.
Go around the edge of it so you'd get your black, so it looked like it was your...
Yeah, that would really work, wouldn't it?
Now I'm going to have a play.
Yeah, no. So that one is £6.50 for you to be able to get that one, which is, again, a 7x7, all of them really, really big sizes that we've got with this. Now, you do have your flowers stencil and masks as well, and you can see you've got an amazing mix of different sizes as well of flowers. And it's very difficult to always create the perfect flower, you know, when you try and do it yourself, whereas with this, you know it's going to look right.
Definitely. Flowers are not supposed to be perfect, but you always in your head have an idea of what you want it to look like.
Exactly. Also introduced the ovals that we've got just there, which is your stencil and masks. Great for scrapbooking, great for journaling, as well as your cards, and sort of apertures that you'd want to get as well. And nice, of course, to have the mask with the stencil as well to be able to get those 2 kind of different looks from this one at that great price of £8.99. I'll bring one more and then we'll come across to another demo. So this is one other opportunity that we've got with that, which is your illusion. You actually want to touch that because it looks like it's going in, doesn't it? With how it's been
like you can fall in there.
Yeah. I'm reading Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Bowie at the moment, and I feel like that's what I'm thinking of, like when they're falling and being pulled into like the chocolate. I'm like, yes, I'm like going into this other world that's like magical with this. And again, it would create an amazing kind of mesh effect or background, or of course you could just use a part of that, kind of just use it as part of a background if you wanted to at £6.50. Right, should we come across your next demo?
We are ready to roll.
Yeah,
So
lovely.
we are going to use our vintage flowers next. I have, again, prepped quite a bit of this so that I can show you a finished card. I'm not going to do the stencil piece because it is with one that we have sold out of.
Yeah, we have still got a little bit of availability there on the vintage flowers, so that's good.
So vintage flowers is so much fun. Again, when I mentioned earlier, if you're stamping onto vellum with Versamark, you can get 2nd, 3rd and sometimes 4th generation out of it. So I'm just going to do 3 for now. So stamped onto Versamark, and I'm using the medium-sized flower for this one.
Okay.
Sprinkle the white powder over the top. Give that a good flick to take the excess off. And I also mentioned earlier, remember you only need one perfect image or one fairly perfect image. Yeah. It's a flower. They are never perfect. It doesn't matter if there's a little bit missing.
No, exactly.
But because we are going to be cutting these out, you do need to make sure that you don't overheat it. If you overheat the vellum or the powder on the vellum, it will break off because you're putting plastic with plastic.
Yes,
basically.
yeah, I see.
So again, I heat them on the top with vellum and hold it in the air. And then as it changes colour, you just literally move your heat gun around as it melts the powder. Do not be tempted to go back and give it that extra, just check to make sure. We're all tempted to go over and give it that extra once over. Yeah. Don't do that. That can be enough to cause your embossing powder to break.
Okay.
Obviously, there will probably be some that breaks off because it's the nature of the product. Yes, and you're asking it to do an awful lot.
Yeah.
So once you've done that, obviously we would do leaves as well. I'm going to flip that over and I'm going to take, I think we will go with Kitsch Flamingo on this one. So I'm just scribble on the back.
Great. And
you can go as light or as heavy as you want it to be. And again, this one's a really, really easy one to cut out.
Oh, nice with the pink.
I do like a bit of pink. So again, if you're not really confident in your cutting out, leave yourself that extra little line around the edge, but you're literally going to wiggle in and out of those lines. You will end up with something, hopefully, that looks like this.
Great.
And then again, back with that kebab stick that I talked about earlier.
Yes.
We're just going to take it from the side and roll around that kebab stick. You don't need any special tools. And I'm not being particularly delicate. You can see I'm really giving that a good tight curl around there. Pop it in your hand, and the heat from your hand will give you, and it's just, I'm literally holding it in my hand. I'm not scrunching it, and it gives you that lift on your flowers. So I know, there we go. So we're going to layer 3 up together.
Okay.
Don't try and fight with them because they will try and curl themselves around.
Yeah.
Just work with what you can to make the shape that you can. I had one lady on one of our workshops and she said, every time I do these flowers, they seem to spin themselves around and all line themselves back up again. Okay. And I'm thinking, what is this lady talking about? Yeah. Bless her. And literally there and then, while she's telling me what was happening, I go and help somebody else, came back. She said, see, look. And they had all spun themselves back. I don't know what she did. I don't know why, but it was... She said she thought it was her mum coming to do it because... her mum always liked everything in a certain order.
Just messing it up.
Blamed it was her mum coming back to sort it all out. Oh. So I'm just going to quickly grab a gem, which I should have done before we came back to me, but I just want to grab one gem out of here. Yeah. Can't go wrong with a gem.
No, exactly.
Scoop those back up because they'll go a long way. Move back out of my way. Oh, it's stuck to my fingers now. And we'll just pop one little gem in the middle there. And then again, because this glue dries clear, you can just pop a tiny amount in the middle and pop your gem in there. A couple of seconds and that will be all set, ready to go. So as I said, I have previously made a load of these up. So we've got 5 in total here. And a whole bunch of leaves, left, rights, upside downs. Yeah. I'm going to go round. I've got 2 layers for my card here. Okay. So I've already done the top layer that I'm going to be using, which is using our Dotty Circle stencil. Okay, yes. I've used 3 different colours on there. We've got picked raspberry, Kitsch Flamingo and sponge sugar. Nice. And I just want the outside, the bottom layer, to be blended. So I'm going to go in with some colour. And this is using the medium brush. And look how easy that goes on.
I know, doesn't it? Yeah. Like you say, it just shows how great those brushes are.
They're so easy and so comfortable to use.
Yeah.
There's none of that stick's not sticking in your hand.
Really Which if you're doing a lot, you don't end up with like a blister, do you, where it's like rubbed on you or anything like that.
So that's the hardest bit done.
Okay.
Normally I'd spritz that with a bit of water and make a background page out of that.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to waste it, would you?
There we go. We'll stick this all together and then we'll start sticking this card together.
Do you remember that the full bundle of the stamps has completely sold out? A lot of the individuals have sold out also. We have got a couple of chances left with this one. So if you do want it, then you can see just there exactly what you're going to get in this. We've got Terry, Beverly, we've got Christine, we've got new bidders there as well with this in their basket. You can see that you get, you know, the lovely kind of mix of size of the vintage flowers. You also get all of the leaves to be able to accompany this as well. So if you do want that for $9.99, it's available individually, but of course not available anymore in the bundle because the bundle's sold out.
We have only used just over half of that. So
Okay.
as I mentioned earlier, you don't need to use the whole
No, exactly.
image when you're making with a 7x7 card. So I always start with my middle flower when I'm doing something like
Okay.
this, because then you can work off it from there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, you're going to get the placement right, aren't
Yeah.
you?
And you could be completely random and put these all over in
Yeah.
funky places on here. We're just layering it up. So in total, each one of these flowers has got 3 layers, but you could do it with 1, you could do it with 2,
Exactly.
and do it as
Yep.
many as you want.
That's really lovely, isn't it? I think these would look really nice on like a headband as well.
I've actually made some previously for people in hospital, because you can't take flowers into hospitals anymore, can you?
Yeah.
So I've made some and put them in a teacup.
Oh, that's nice. Also in like a box frame, they'd look nice, wouldn't they? A lot of people
We actually did that on a workshop. We did a whole load of them with the trio of flowers that we did
you?
earlier,
Yes.
and made it into a box frame.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
And if you, on our YouTube channel, if you
Yeah.
go back right to the very beginning, so we're talking about 4 or 5 years back,
Yeah.
there is a tutorial on there on how to make all the different flowers you can with these flowers.
Yeah, and then you can kind of mix them together if you wanted
Yeah.
to make them big bouquets, couldn't you?
Completely. There's loads, and all the different techniques and stuff, and different mediums. I've used them on, acetate and
Brilliant.
such like. So we're just, again, popping those leaves under here. All you need to remember is when you do things like this, to keep within your card width.
Yes, yeah.
And this would obviously require a box. You're not going to be able to just... And it doesn't have to be stuck right underneath that flower.
Yeah.
Because you want to be able to see it. And I'm not putting huge amounts of glue on there, and all I've done to shape this is like you would do with a, when you're shredding ribbon,
Yeah.
or curling ribbon, but I keep my thumb nail on the end there,
Okay.
which just allows you to kind of bend it back on itself, which
Yeah.
gives it a bit of height
Really
and
nice.
something for you to stick it down with, which is always a bonus when you're trying to stick paper down.
Yes, yeah.
So we're almost there. I have so much fun making flowers.
We are very over allocated on this one now as well. So for Gillian, Anne, Beryl, Bridget, Angela, Denise, new crafters, we've got Lancashire, we've got Terry, we've got West Mids, we've got Susie, Charlotte. There's so many of you there. So if you do want to guarantee it, we can't give it to everybody. You've seen how much is sold out on this show already. So if you want it, do ensure that you check out. Because once they've gone, they've gone. They are, of course, designed and made here in the UK as well.
That's those bits in there, and then we've just got somewhere here, there we go, we've got a little sentiment again. I've used that, thanks for going the extra mile. Now you could, if you wanted to, pop that sentiment in the middle here,
Yeah.
but I actually quite like that white space there.
Yeah, I do. I think that's nice.
So we're going to pop
That's
that
amazing.
sentiment
It's
on the edge
beautiful.
there. And that's that one done.
Wow, that is just absolutely gorgeous. So you can see just there that we've got the vintage flowers, which has just been used to create that. We've got a couple left. We've got so many of you looking at this. A few other samples, of course, for you to be able to see if you wanted to create this in a different way as well, or different colours that have been done, of course, with this stamp set as well. They're just all absolutely amazing, aren't they? So massive well done if you've managed to jump in and get that. Now, I do want to just go over the last few stencils that I've not introduced to the show just yet. So we have got this one, which I think is going to be so popular, because whenever we get to see the bubbles, it's just brilliant, isn't it? And it's a really big stencil, your A5 that you've got there. And again, you've got the perfect circles. You can use it all. You can use just part of this, and it's £6.50 for you to be able to get that one. We then have, how different is that, where you are getting the checkered finish and the checkered image that we can see on that one as well. Which is your tartan, so you could do that in mixed different colours, your reds, your blues, anything like that. Lovely background to be able to get as well. Could be Christmas, could be not Christmas, but £6.50. We've then got the line stencil. I also feel like if you sort of shorten these down a little bit, they could be like little candles.
Good. Or a little picket fence.
Yes, that would be good, wouldn't it? A little picket fence. Yeah, lots of uses with this, 7x7, and it's £6.50 again for you to be able to get that. So really lovely. And then finally, the only other one that I've not introduced yet was this one, which once again I think would be a very usable one, having that mesh finish that we're seeing on that. You know, would go well with other stencils we've seen, would go well with the stamp sets that we've seen as well, and that's £6.50. Now, we have been doing the bingo game today. We have got a winner, so well done for getting involved with this. The winner on Snow Day bingo is Karen Quinn. So well done, Karen Quinn in Cheshire. £25 will be credited to your account so that you can spend it on whatever you want, of course, from us here at HobbyMaker. So thanks for getting involved. Well done on a snowy day, getting 25 quid, which is always lovely, isn't it? Exactly. Now, I will just give you a quick reminder of anything that's left on the show. Most things have sold out. Has the Flourish stencil sold out, or have we still got a little bit of availability on it? Gone. Okay, that's gone. That's sold out. We have just done the vintage flowers, so that one is there. Let me just reach across, shall I, and just grab these now. I think I will. So we have got the extra lines. Oh, hello, Georgie. She said, hi, girl, just got home, and it's an absolute joy to see Amanda, whose demos are exquisite. Keep up the good work.
Thank
and that's
you.
Georgie and Ayrshire.
Thank you, Georgie.
Thank you for that message. So we've got a little bit of availability left on the extra lines stamp set. So if you would like to get this one, then you can. This is £14.99. You can see it's a really large stamp set that we've got there. Great to be able to create all of those backgrounds, of course, that we've seen being created as well. This is a really nice idea, which is part of it's been used as well to sort of do the drop baubles that you can see there for Christmas or New Year. You might want to just be using part of it in this way as well. Or we can kind of really build up those big backgrounds like we've been seeing done in the show to do something a bit like that. So that one is £14.99 if you want to take advantage of that one. We then also have Dot Dot that we've got a little bit of availability on. Again, another big stencil set that we've got there at £14.99. I think it would work really well as well with what we saw, in the last hours with the monsters. So if you've got the monsters and you're thinking I want backgrounds for it, it'd work well with the Creative Expressions launch, because you've got the same kind of big circles and everything like that we can see. So another superb look. And again, you can go for smaller cards. You can create the really large cards if you wanted to. But that is all, again, £14.99 for you to be able to get this. We're then going to also Trio of Flowers. Has that gone? Is that... Oh, we've got a little bit of availability on this one. And this is where your journey really started, wasn't it?
This was my first ever stamp I designed.
It's fabulous.
And it's still one of our most popular.
Still one of the most popular now, which I can understand why, because it's just brilliant when we saw that obviously being used, and you can see that you could do that if you wanted them flat like this, or why don't you transform it to something like that if you wanted to. And that is £9.99 for you to be able to jump in and get that. I think everything else... Oh, so one's fell back in with that. Oh, okay, this is nice. One has fell back in with the butterfly daisy. So if you wanted to get that, one's popped back in. That's always handy. This sometimes happens. So you have got one chance to get that now at £9.99. And that's why it's always worth just having a little look at the website, because sometimes they've completely gone, one falls back in. So if you do want that final one, then we've got that there at £9.99 for you to be able to get that. You can see the cards that we made earlier, but yeah, one final chance. Vintage Flowers has now sold out as well. So yes, there's only a couple of chances left on bits. Yes, we've got about three-ish minutes left on the show.
Oh, we've got lots of this prepped ahead. So this is watercolour card, and I'm using the VersaFine Onyx Black on the VersaFine cup, on the watercolour card. Oh, nearly dropped that. Did you see that? And then we're just And don't forget, you can stamp off the page. Just because it's a full flower, you don't have to use the full
No, exactly.
flower. And then I'm going to go in with some of the, I'm going to make a huge mess now, but we'll deal with that in a minute. Just going back in and randomly stamping on here. I would then go in and emboss this once it was completed. Obviously, I'm doing it in a little bit of a hurry because I want to be able to show you a finished card. So I would emboss it so that then I could go in and colour it.
Okay.
Now, I have pre-coloured quite a lot of this.
Yeah.
Using the the clean colour pens.
Okay.
I've just taken some colour down the edge.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go in with the blending brush, which is just basically a clear ink, and pull that colour out. I'm going to quickly scribble all the way around this flower. I would normally spend a little bit more time than this.
Yeah.
But we're just getting that colour down so that I can give you a finished card.
Yeah. It's always like that when it comes to the end of the show.
That's the plan. If not, I will finish it and take a photo of it after.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're just... So because there is embossing powder on this, the ink will sit on the top of that embossing powder.
Yeah.
So you do need to make sure you go in and blot this as well as you're going
Okay.
So, I think, what do I need? Maybe 2 or 3 more minutes. Have I got that? 2 minutes?
Yeah, got 2 minutes, yeah.
2 minutes is a quick time when you're doing something like this. As I say, spend a little bit more time and be a bit more delicate with it than I am.
Yeah, exactly.
I will finish colouring that in a bit nicer and pop a picture of it up.
It still looks really nice.
And I always work in circular motions when I'm blending a colour out like this, because it does help not get those lines in there. Just go back in there and pick up some of that.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do the same with some green on that leaf.
Okay.
And it is much easier to blend like this if it is watercolour cardstock.
Okay.
I'm going to pop
Lovely.
that straight down there. So as I said, I always go in and blot just to make sure that there's no colour transferring.
Okay.
We are going to stick that on here. This is definitely speed crafting this afternoon.
That was really good.
And then we'll pop a gem in the middle of that flower we've just done.
Yeah, pop your gem.
And then I did the sentiment exactly the same, but with the mini flower. So I've used the biggest flower on the top here.
Okay.
And then I've taken the smallest flower and the
Lovely.
smallest leaf just to kind of tie the whole sentiment and everything in together.
That's brilliant.
And then we're going to pop that
Pop that there.
down on there.
Gorgeous.
And 8 demos done.
Well done. I mean, that is impressive, isn't it? Very limited chances now on that trio of flowers. So if you do want this, £9.99 for you to be able to jump in and get this. Well done to Deborah, Sue, Gillian, Kathleen, Emily, just coming in and managing to get that as well. Last couple of chances now available. And thank you so much. I mean, it's been lovely. Really nice. When are you back?
10th of December, I believe.
10th of December. Lovely. So we will expect, and again, get in early when you see the honeydew crab show, because this is what always happens. We kind of get to the point where we're going, well, we haven't got much left now. It's all gone. So always shop ahead if you see Amanda on here. And just a quick reminder, somebody asked, where are you this weekend?
We're in Kent at the
that was it.
Kent Detling Showground.
Super. There you go, Kent. I will see you, what day is it? Tuesday. I'll see you on Sunday. So I'll be back in Sunday evening. I'll see you then. Have a lovely week. Up next is Sussex with Sharon and Dave. So take care and I'll see you on Sunday.